Well, greetings everybody there at Amazonas. My name is Henry. How do you do? I'm very sure that Scott has already introduced me and he's asked me to create this little video here, just basically explaining my selling process I use when it comes to our amazing Amazonas products. So I've made this little video here because I thought it would be the best way I could do it and just talk to you about how I approach selling the Amazonas products. So the first thing that I really just want to say is a lot of what I have learned when it comes to sales techniques and my approach to it has come from that man in the room with you, Scott. Scott has been an absolutely great mentor to me, and a lot of any success that I've had selling Amazonas products does go down to him. So I've really listened to him, and I really recommend that you also listen to the things he says as well. Now, to start it all off, one of the first things that I very much have is the script. Now, this script was created for me by Scott to help me understand the key selling points of the Amazonas products and little details going into them if I'm ever answered. Now, this document I studied religiously. I had a test on it by Scott. It's something I keep looking back to every day when I'm selling just to remind myself of certain things, and it is an absolute godsend. Now, you can probably see on the page as well that I've done a lot of dribbles, little dabbles, little scribbles here and there. Now, that is because of two reasons. A, I did my own research and some own other things I wanted to include in how I present Amazonas. And also, I've modified it to suit my speech pattern. I speak differently to probably how Scott speaks. I probably speak differently to how Mateus speaks. Everyone has their own way of speaking, and I took this script and I modified it to suit my style and approach. So my style and approach has been to, yes, they know I am here to try and get them to buy our products, but my biggest thing has been about creating that bond, that friendship with myself and the buyer, and a level of trust. I really go into my sales more like trying to start a conversation, start a potential friendship, because I feel when you start off like that and a friendship, or certainly a business friendship, can start to develop, you're going to get much better response. One of my big examples of this is in the UK, we started selling the Amazonas products on Mountain Warehouse, and the woman I have there, Alexandra, she and I are actually quite now good business friends. Generally now and then we do email each other saying hi, how are you, keeping up to date with things, and that's what's so great about it. The fact that I have that amazing contact there. So apart from having your script, the next big thing I really look for is to make sure that when I am trying to sell the Amazonas products, I'm also selling myself in a business friendship way. So the next thing that I do before I even make a call is certainly do my prep work. By my prep work, I mean I've gone over this person's website where I want to potentially get them to buy the Amazonas products, looked through everything they've got at the moment, looked and found their emails, looked and found their phone numbers, and then even I've gone on LinkedIn to try and see if I can find the exact buyer or the right person that I'm looking for. This helps so much. You have no idea for me, because if I'm going to call someone up and say, hi, my name's Henry, how do you do? I am the buyer of Amazonas and I'd love to speak to X about potentially arranging our products with you. 9 out of 10 times, that person will go, okay, I'll see if I can transfer them to you. So you're instantly in the line of contact with the right person you need to speak to. It helps so much. Even so that you don't get to maybe speak to that person, you can certainly connect with them on LinkedIn, and that's another way of getting in contact with a person. So in general, my phone calls, whenever I've done all my research and I'm ready to contact these people, end up going like this. Hi, good morning. How do you do? My name's Henry. Yeah, very well, thank you. How are you as well? It's really great here. I don't suppose you could actually potentially help me. I'm calling from a company called Amazonas. We are the world's largest hammock brand of award-winning hammocks and wooden hanging chair, and I'd love to speak to X about potentially arranging our products with you. Yeah, it'd be great. I'll absolutely hold. So from that, simply, I always end up having one of four outcomes. The first one is I get to speak to the person directly, and if I'm lucky, I'm able to send information about Amazonas and our trade price list to get really interest start to grow. The next thing that normally happens is either I leave a voicemail, and at least I know I can now speak directly to the person, leave a voicemail, I can call them back a bit later. Number 3, I get given their direct email or the email they respond to the most, so I've still got a way of contacting them. The fourth option, some might consider a bit of a failure, which is when they decide not to range the products. But I don't see it that way. I always end those options with, oh, I'm really sorry that it's not right for you at the moment, but hey, can I maybe phone like in 3-4 months down the line, see if things are different then? Because 9 out of 10 times they'll just say, yeah, of course, thinking you actually never will, but I do. One of the big things I've learned about when I'm selling Amazonas hammocks is just persistence. You've just got to be persistent. If someone says no, you turn it into a maybe couple of months down the line. They say that they're just going to give you an email but they never reply to you. Well, you try and find other ways of getting in contact. That's what I do. I'm on the phone, I'm on emails, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm looking through WhatsApp Messenger, I'm looking through Facebook messaging, I'm looking through just all different ways I can come up with, I will look at. At this point, it's fair to say that some of the people that I have been chatting to, I've probably emailed and phoned, were certainly entering maybe the potential triple digits. And sometimes I'm getting somewhere. Sometimes after all these calls and maybe trying different ways and different departments within they give me options, I sometimes get a new route in. So that persistence has really rewarded me, because even though I'm meant to like phone up, press option 3, I sometimes click option 2 and say, oh, I'm very sorry, you've gone to the wrong department, but the man here, he is the person you need to speak to. I'll tell you what, I'll just transfer you to him now. That's a win as far as I'm concerned. Now, the way I keep track of this all is by the software Pipedrive. Pipedrive, it's absolutely brilliant, keeping a date all the people that I need to speak to, all the people that I need to catch up speaking to, and then when I've got them in potentially on a stage of they're going to buy the products, to keep track of where I am with that deal. So as you can see on the screen, this is my timeline of Amazonas, of people I need to call. Obviously, there's some people in green I need to talk to now. There's some people in red that I need to talk to them and catch up talking to them. But it ranges all the way from done deal, whether it being dropship or waiting for that purchase order, all the way down to basically call them back later at another time. And it has different stages of interested, sent price, range selection, setup, dropship to finish, waiting for purchase order or go live, and now I'm just waiting for them to make their first order. This software has helped me so much. I'm a guy who just needs to get everything down on paper, and this software does it for me. So when I'm working on my sales and looking for all of this, I can really as well prioritize, right, I need to focus on this people a bit more than today. You know, I can maybe let these people just slide if I have time today, but I really need to get these top 20 people done and talk to today, or maybe some new form of contact. I'm going to be also honest with them. There are days when I feel like I'm just hitting a brick wall. I'm getting absolutely nowhere. No matter how many phone calls, how many emails, how many LinkedIn acceptances or invitations to connect, sometimes it just feels I'm getting absolutely nowhere. And I do have days like that quite a few times actually, but at the end of the day, I remember again back to that word, persistence. For me, sales is persistence, and just keep going and going and going. Because what I've learned, to use a sports analogy, there are front days and there are back days. Like in a sports team, there are the backs who work really hard setting up the front to get the big wins. Whenever I feel like I've had a day when I'm not getting it, I just think to myself, it's a back day. It's a day which I've built prepping for some big thing down the line. And looking back, honestly, right now, I feel that is what I get a lot. So when it comes to me and how I sell Amazonas, I think it really does boil down to 4 things. The first one is my script. I make sure that I've got my script, I know my script off by heart, I can edit and change it when I need to, and I've tailored it to suit my own style of speech and how I want to interact with people. Number 2 is I definitely do my research before I make a call to someone, make sure I've got all the information I could possibly need, all other variants of it that you might have. I know exactly who I want to talk to if possible. Number 3, the biggest one I think of all of them, I am persistent. Persistent on the phones, persistent on email, LinkedIn, social media, any sort of way I can maybe try and make a new way of contact, I will try it and do it. And number 4 is accept there are front days and there are back days, and back days are just as important as the front days and vice versa. So that's really how I sell Amazonas hammocks. I hope you find this potentially of interest, and I leave you in the capable hands of Scott again to maybe go in depth more further of a couple of things and to share with you some of the places I've actually sold Amazonas on, and also to talk a bit further about the places I'm still talking to at the moment. Scott, I hope you're really well, and I send this conversation back over to you. And to everyone, take care.